Hi, I'm Luciano Borges, president of Ardent Mine, a US-listed junior mining company traded under the symbol ADNT. Welcome to our first project in Brazil, Gold Hills. Gold Hills was firstly developed by the Brazilian Geological Survey, CPRM, which was a state-owned exploration company. And the surprising thing about this property is that even me, who was president of the board of CPRM, never heard about it. We were lucky enough to unbury that hidden treasure from the past economic turmoil of Brazil. Our decision to acquire that property was based mainly in two sets of information: historical and geological information. The historical information gives account of tremendous gold activity in 1940s and later on in between the 80s and 90s decade of the last century. On the total, we estimate that this property produced something around 1 ton of gold historically. So to build up this facility that include the galleries, the shafts, etc., CPRM invested something around $12 million in total. After CPRM abandoned the facilities, the locals, the artisanal miners, produced in the tailings of CPRM something like 100 kilos of gold with their own hands, working over almost 2 years. Besides the historical evidence, we found in the field with our first geological surveys a continuity of the trend over more than 12 kilometers. We estimate a total of 13.5 kilometers spreading over this lowland in front of this mill, in which many old garimpeiros or artisanal miners' activities is easily identified, and it's very easy to see gold in any sample we grab from their tailings. Besides, we have the 600 meters of galleries of CPRM. We recovered the shaft, we refurbished the galleries, and the old CPRM mine is now fully operational. But what we are doing is extend the exploration to add value in reserves, in tonnage of gold, because we really believe that the trend is much bigger than they suspected in the past. Airborne geophysics suggested that we have parallel zones of mineralization, and our geologists already have found superficial evidence of this parallel occurrence of potential gold-rich zones along the whole 13.5 kilometers of the mineralization trend. In this map, we have positioning of the first property of Ardent Mines in Brazil, which is Gold Hills. Gold Hills is a trend, the Gold Hills trend, that have different targets. Gold Hills 1, 2, 3 and 4, covered by 4 different exploration permits granted by the Brazilian Ministry of Mines and Energy. That area extends to that direction behind of me. The first target, Gold Hills 1, is comprised by a shaft and 2 galleries of 600 meters where Ardent found continuous vein with an average thick of 80 centimeters to 1 meter, but the mineralized zone is much bigger than that, with few meters with pinch and swell structure. Originally, the high-grade zones were rather concentrated, but we discovered that the high-grade zones, besides extends all over the trend, have lateral projections in a different rock rather than the original vein mined by CPRM and the garimpeiros. The Gold Hills trend is certainly continuous and thicker than it was believed in the past. Also, the geophysical evidence showed that the zone is bigger than the single high-grade mineralized vein. So the first exploration concept for that area was provided by SRK report, which recommended a drilling campaign over 40,000 meters that will cost to Ardent something like $10 million. We are now finishing the preparation to start a new drilling campaign in Gold Hills 1 target. At the same time, we are making the geochemistry, geochemical and mineralogic sampling and structural studies of the other targets. We are also checking properties around. Although we have surrounded areas claimed by high reputation company, we are pretty sure that the best gold trend in this district is Gold Hills trend. The Ardent goal in Serra do Ouro Gold Hills project is to prove the existence of a multi-million ounce gold deposit and start a gold mine, a world-class operation to produce value to the company in a short to medium term. So as we have many occurrences, many zones of enrichment that will probably result in more than one mining pit, we call this region as the Gold Hills trend. It's a new trend of gold in Brazil. It's a new trend of gold in the international gold market. The goal of our company is to become one serious world-class player in the gold and copper industry. For that, we have, besides Gold Hills, a very interesting and rich property in Carajás. We found an elephant on elephant territory, which is Misty Hills, which is for us is an IOCG copper and gold deposit in the Carajás zone, which is the biggest or the most important mining district in Brazil, probably in South America. Besides the property we have in Misty Hills, 9,000 hectares, that we are starting the first steps in the exploration, we are under negotiations to acquire more similar areas in the same region to build up our copper activity aside our gold activity.